Tonight's guest is Tex West.
Looking back on the life that you're leaving, let it rest in a hole in the ground. Stick around for the great revealing, or the fire you've been dancing around. All we hear is the sound of retreating. No one cares where you're coming from. My ears are still ringing and bleeding. I guess we all knew from the start. These are the days my heart goes numb. Yeah, one of these days will be the one. Looking for answers. What a disaster. These are the days my heart goes numb. My heart goes numb. Breathing the fumes of the ashes, the spirits light up the night. Looking down the
Now, we're live from the Untold Radio Network. It's Untold Radio AM with MonsterQuest producer, host Doug Hajicek, and co-host Jeff Perrella Jr. Untold Radio AM is going live right now. This show is for entertainment purposes only. Yep, that's the ticket. Now here are your Untold Radio AM hosts, Doug Hajicek and Jeff Perrella Jr.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Untoldians.
Welcome to Sunday.
Yeah, it's our first Sunday show. Jeff texts me, isn't it weird we're doing the podcast
Yeah, it was weird doing the show prep today.
on Sunday? And I'm thinking, yeah, it is kind of weird. This is what it
Here we
is.
are.
Yeah, here we are. But it looks like some people came.
Yeah, good to see everybody.
Hello, Sly Fox. Hello, Loretta. Poncho. Oh my God, even buttworms are. Believe it?
The one and only buttworm.
Yeah, the one and only buttworm. It's buttwormy now. We changed it.
Well, no, actually, I see a couple of people mentioning this. I noticed this the other day. YouTube changed how they show your name. So it's going to show your actual ID, not the name that you chose. I don't know if that's permanent or not, but that's something YouTube's doing. So I see people are puzzled by that. I was the first time I saw it. That's what's going on, if that makes sense.
Oh, okay. Anyhow,
enough of that crap.
everybody still has they're still anonymous.
Right,
Yeah, it's not their real name.
right. Unless they want it to be.
Yeah, so feel free to swear at Jeff. It'd be fun. I don't know.
Right.
Okay. So we just topped 15,000 subscribers.
Awesome.
We need to get to our next milestone, which is 30.
We'll do it next week.
Yeah.
We'll get on that.
So if you haven't subscribed, please, we beg of you, if we're going to
We really
survive.
appreciate it.
We need you to subscribe. Everything works on that. The algorithms, the views, I mean, everything. And
Yep.
comments. Actual
Yeah.
comments. And
Mhm.
people in chat. And it does make a difference.
Sure does.
So please hit the notification bell. We would appreciate it. And then some people realize and some don't that we actually have many more shows
Lots.
that we produce and that you can go to Real American Monsters, Home on the Strange, Squatch and Holler, Paranormal Spectrum, Monsters on the Edge, Talking Weird. I mean, there's just so many.
Yeah.
So, and there's new
And
ones.
our hosts are great and our fans are just great. So Dive right into any one of those shows. They're all great.
Yeah, we're always upgrading or updating different shows.
Mhm.
Our newest is Home on the Strange with Ashley Range.
Yep.
So,
She is every other Monday, if memory serves.
yes, correct. All right, moving on. So tonight we're going to definitely step into a kind of a shadowy place we don't normally step, where true crime meets true fear. So our guest is Tex Wesson, who's got a brand new book out called. I'm waiting for you to tell us what it's called.
You know what? I got the cover for it right here. Give me 1 second.
Yes, I mean, put it up.
Hold on, man. There we go. Infamous Minds of True Crime, Book 1.
Yes, book 1. So he's going to have more. All right. But we'll cover all sorts of stuff. And then, of course, we are going to cover where all these things kind of crisscross,
Yeah.
for
Good conversation. Looking forward to it. He's a great guest. Looking forward to talking to Tex again.
Let's see here. What else are we going to do?
Got some clip picks. Got some weird and fast news.
Yeah. Remember last time I couldn't get through it. I was laughing so hard because of the AI pictures.
Yeah.
The tongue sticking out on. I was just,
Yeah, that was fun.
How did that go unnoticed? Did they got posted in the notes?
No.
Never noticed. And then what? The dog had 2 tongues.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was crazy. Anyhow, and today Yvette baked a crock pot full of like the most amazing chili ever.
Yum.
It was simmering all day, and then I had a bowl here recently with the cheese, and oh my God, then I had another bowl, and I feel like burping. And I'm drinking a root beer on top of the chili. It's gonna get ugly. It's gonna get ugly, Jeff.
The cough button's there for a reason.
It's gonna be the burp button. Oh my God, excuse me. So anyhow, turn the lights down low, grab a blanket, grab some chili, grab a beverage, and kind of relax, because Sunday night's kind of a different feel, right?
Yeah.
It's more of that, I don't know. For people who are retired, it's, I think, a day of kind of excitement because then Monday's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Stores are open again. You know what I mean? It's like you can do things again. But for people that have to work on Monday, it's more of a kind of enjoy the weekend as much as you can.
Yeah, I need to get up at 6 tomorrow now. I have to get up. I'm not a morning person at all, and now I got to get up at 6 every morning to get to work on time.
Oh yeah, because you got to do all the, you got to get ready, and you got to drive, and thick traffic.
Yeah, I got a little bit of a commute. Got to get a lunch ready. Yeah, it's a little different. Not used to that.
Morning roads are ugly.
Yeah.
All right, so what do we got here? Let's go ahead. Oh, I was going to mention, did you just, literally, and this could affect you tomorrow. A semi-truck turned over on the freeway, and over 2,000 pounds of hair that was meant to be used for wigs has dumped out all over the road. And that could block traffic for you tomorrow, but I wouldn't worry about it because police are combing the scene.
Combing the area? Yeah.
They're combing the area. So you should be okay.
Yeah. It's a big comb.
Oh God, here I go again. All right, let's get through our weird and fast news.
Weird and fast.
Yes.
All right, here we go.
It's time for weird and fast news. Yeah! It's time for weird and fast news.
All right, our first story is kind of creepy.
Kind of creepy.
It's really creepy.
Yeah.
So they have developed a technology that mimics skin, even the way it reacts in the sun. It even gets sunburn. And of course, one of the first products that they're going to produce is a phone case for your smartphone. So a British researcher teamed up with major telecom brand Virgin Media to develop a silicone phone case called the Skin Case, designed to mimic human skin in texture, tone, and even sunburn response. Apparently, the case uses UV reactive pigments and detailed sculpting to recreate the appearance of real skin, wrinkles, texture, and la 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 la. So there you go, Jeff.
I guess the point is to give you a warning when you're getting too much UV
I guess.
for that. I mean, it looks like he's holding a ham.
Or it's just
a slab
creepy.
of ham.
Or it's just creepy.
It's creepy.
Anyhow, next.
Moving on.
Apparently, they've discovered a new ice that stays solid at room temperature. Now, of all the discoveries, you wouldn't think in this day and age they're discovering new types of ice, would you?
Wouldn't think so.
You wouldn't think so. But
Think that'd be kinda
scientists,
played out.
using the world's largest X-ray laser and diamond anvil cells, squeezed water under extreme pressure. Now, that's a new idea. And discovered a new phase of ice they call Ice 21. Apparently, it remains solid at normal room temperatures.
That's bizarre.
What? I'm like, okay, you'll have to research that yourself.
It's weird and fast.
Right. Very, very weird, very fast. Next, a 44-minute pulsing object has now been found in the Milky Way. And apparently, astronomers have discovered a mysterious object located about 15,000 light years from Earth. So that's relatively close, right? You could
Sure.
drive there with your wagon.
I'll meet you there tomorrow. Why not?
Yeah, 15,000 light years. That's
No
nothing.
biggie.
Apparently, it's 15,000 light years from Earth in the Milky Way, and it's crowded inner region, if you could call space crowded, yes. Apparently, this object cycles by emanating powerful X-rays and radio waves every 44 minutes. During periods of heightened activity, a pattern never seen before. So they're operating the Chandra X-ray Observatory and using this to observe this strange object.
Weird.
It's the universe's alarm clock, maybe.
It's pretty cool.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. What else could it be? It's got to be some kind of like man-made, or do you think it's like old geyser?
No, it's probably due to the rotation. Is the way
Uh,
that happens is it rotates and it's going to send out that signal every time it's pointing at us. That's usually what causes stuff like that.
Yeah, but the picture shows it pointing straight up and down.
Well, maybe it's spinning up and down. I don't know.
I don't know.
Not everything spins in the same plane.
But there you go. It didn't mention anything about spinning, but yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, it's most likely what's causing it.
All right, next. Oh boy, something everybody needs. A new spoon has been developed and debuted at the GES show in Vegas that can trick your tongue into thinking your food is salty when it doesn't have any salt.
Oh, that's cool.
Sure, just what we need. Apparently at GES 2025 Tech Show, attendees were both amazed and baffled by the odd gadgets. Things like a robotic-free bag companion that mimics a baby-like behavior, a salt trick spoon, which is what we're talking about now, that uses a weak electrical current to make food taste salty or saltier.
It's pretty cool. If you can't handle, to lower the sodium in your system, you're kind of tricking yourself that it's salty.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's it. That's amazing, Jeff.
It is amazing.
I'm getting Christmas ideas. Next, we have a very interesting shape-shifting electronic ink has been developed, and researchers at Korea's, I think it's pronounced CASE lab, have developed a futuristic electronic ink made of microparticles of gallium metal embedded in a polymer matrix. So when it's cooler, it's rigid, and then goes to soft states when heated. So apparently,
Interesting.
illustrations, they printed wearable health monitors and brain implanted devices that when the material warmed to near body temperature becomes more flexible, over 1,400 times softer, allowing the device to conform to skin or organs. So there you go. And then sturdy
pretty
one
cool.
is gold. Yeah, there you go.
There's a big future in wearable tech. I think that's going to be a hot thing.
Oh, I think so. Have you seen the T-shirts and the shirts and hats that are like TV monitors?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
That's it. That's all you got to say about wearing it.
Well, I'm getting
That's
ready
just
for
pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
Okay.
Technology's awesome.
Yeah. Weird fact
can
of
be.
the. I think that's it for the news. That's it.
Yeah.
So,
Is it time for the weird fact of the week?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
It's now time for Untold Radio Weird Fact of the Week. That is kind of weird.
You know what bumpers are for? They're so you can take a sip of your root beer.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're for.
And
Remember
burp.
that. Huh?
And burp.
And burp, things like that. Okay. Up first, or only, the only thing we're going to do in our weird and creepy, or weird, it's not get all mixed up. It's weird fact of the week. So apparently the bird known as the Hoatzin, because it literally smells like manure. This bird stinks. It's found in the Amazon and the Orinoco River Basin. It has two very strange traits. First, hatchlings are born with clawed wings, so they can climb trees right away. Okay, before they can fly. And the adults, this is what makes them stink. The adults digest leaves by a cow-style fermentation process in their gut, which gives off a very strong foul odor.
Yeah.
Did I say odor? Odor.
Odor. That would stink. Rotting leaves.
And
Yeah.
odor and odor. This bird is like a walking time capsule of evolutionary oddities. It's part bird, part dinosaur, part cow. There you go.
Yeah.
And notice no tongue in our
No
illustration.
tongue. And only 2 legs, not 3 legs.
Yeah.
We had a 3-leg bat last time, remember?
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's a nice create. I created that.
That's a cool picture. It's a neat animal. They're really they're very primitive. They're it's unique.
Yeah.
Unique bird.
I didn't create that picture. Anyhow. And then we have let me know. Oh, I think Tex is here, isn't he?
He was. Text you there? I think he got set up and stepped away.
Okay, yeah. I've got just a very short, creepy trivia that we can do.
Okay.
And we can have a couple of audience members. It's not a contest.
Not a contest.
It's like there's no prize, but somebody I'll probably send something no charge to.
Mm-hmm. For no reason whatsoever, because it's not a contest.
Yeah, the only difference is I won't be charging you.
Right.
That's the only difference. So if we want to get a couple of volunteers.
All right. So let's try to get somebody who hasn't played before.
Yeah, if you've played, don't volunteer.
All right. Let's do this.
It's now time for Untold Radio AM Audience Trivia. Who wants to play?
All right. Waiting for a couple people to check in here. Who wants to play
Kenny,
trivia?
thank you very much. Kenny Hess just gifted 5 Untold Radio Network
Awesome.
memberships.
Thank you so much.
Super appreciated. And that's awful nice. And I don't know who you gifted them to, but somebody's going to be happy.
All right. So Lee wants to play.
All right.
Someone else.
And did everybody get that last thing to you? From
What's
the
that?
last, did they get you their address?
Yeah,
Email?
Minxie didn't win not a gift because it wasn't a contest. And she did receive the thing that doesn't exist.
Gotcha. Good.
She confirmed that she got something that didn't
Didn't
happen.
exist. Well, good.
Right.
I'm glad.
Well, who's
So
going to
who-
play Lee?
It's going to be on just kind of like Halloween trivia on haunted places. It's only 10 questions, so it's not long. Yeah. Minxie says I got my not a prize.
It's not a prize. It's
It's,
not a contest.
it's not a
It
prize.
showed up at her house for absolutely no reason
No
whatsoever.
reason, just because we just wanted to.
All right. And Joanne's going to play. Cool. So we got Lee and Joanne. Awesome.
And you're keeping score?
I can, sure.
Lee
Will
and
do.
Joanne. I'll try to help you, but
All right.
it's only 10 questions.
All right.
All right. Number 1, the Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, Colorado. All right.
Mhm.
And so the question is, which famous author was inspired to write The Shining after staying there? Was it Dean Koontz, Stephen King, Annie Rice? So you got 3 possible choices: Dean Koontz, Stephen King, or Annie Rice for The Shining. And I'll let you keep track, Jeff.
Yeah. But he's getting the music started here. Trivia music. All right. Looks like they both got it. So
Well, somebody got it first.
who got it first? Looks like Lee chimed in first. They both got it right.
They both got it right, but who got it first?
Lee.
Okay, so we're going to give that to Lee. Okay.
1 point to Lee. All right.
If we need a tiebreaker, we'll come up with something.
Sure.
The Queen Mary in Long Beach, California is the topic. This retired ocean liner is known for ghostly footsteps and echoes of sailors. What was her original purpose? Was the Queen Mary a cruise ship, a military troop transport, or a research vessel?
Tick tock, tick tock. Who's in the guess first?
Was it by the way, my dad was on that ship.
Oh, really?
Absolutely.
The Queen Mary? That's pretty cool.
Yep. Was it Queen Mary a cruise ship, a military troop transport, a research vessel?
Lee got in for, they both said cruise ship. Actually, well,
Well, who got it first?
Lee came in first with cruise ship, and then Joanne came in with military.
And they're both right.
And they're technically both right. It was a cruise ship first, and then it was converted to a military ship for World
Yep,
War
and
II.
that's my dad rode on the Queen Mary to get to Germany.
Yep.
World War II. Okay, so who's getting the credit?
Well, Lee came in first. And it was a cruise ship first, even though they're both technically right.
Both doing really good. The next question concerning the Eastern State Penitentiary in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It's a inmate. I can't talk tonight. Inmates reported eerie whispers from the walls. Who once served time there? Was it Al Capone, Machine Gun Kelly, or John Dillinger? In the Eastern State Penitentiary. And that's where eerie whispers and steps are heard to this day. Al Capone, Machine Gun Kelly, or John Dillinger? See,
Lee came
Lee
in
says
first.
Dillinger.
What does Joanne say? Oh, Joanne came in first with Capone.
Yep.
And Joanne is right. So Joanne is on the board. She got in first and she was right.
All right,
Capone
Joanne.
stayed there. Nice job.
All right, question 4. The Myrtles Plantation in St. Francisville, Louisiana is said to be built over an ancient burial ground. Would you turn that dang music down?
It's too loud? Sure.
It's a little loud. That's what's maybe there. I couldn't hear it. That's okay. That's good. All right. The Myrtles Plantation in St. Francisville, Louisiana is said to be built over an ancient burial ground. This site is haunted by what? Is it a headless soldier, a servant named Chloe, or a weeping bride? A headless soldier, a servant named Chloe, or a weeping bride? Which one?
Let's see here. Lee said bride. What does Joanne say?
Yes, Joanne. What does Joanne say? Got some really good answers coming out of our audience.
And
Chloe.
Joanne says Chloe. Joanne is right.
Yeah.
So which is at 2 and 2 to 2.
2-2. Good job. You guys are both doing good. All right. Number 5, the Winchester Mystery House in San Jose, California. Okay, that's what the question's about. What bizarre feature can be found inside this haunted mansion? Is it a staircase leading to nowhere, a door opening into a wall, or is it both A and B? Is it both? A stairway leading to nowhere, a door opening into a wall, or is it both A and B?
Joanne said stairs. Waiting for Lee to check
Watch
in.
Mama says both.
And Lee said both, and Lee is correct. It is both. So that puts Lee in the lead, 3 to 2. So Joanne was technically right, but Lee was more right.
All right.
Pretty cool house. I've seen a documentary on it. It's pretty wild.
All right. The next is the Waverly Hills Sanatorium in Louisville, Kentucky. It was
Louisville.
originally built as a hospital for what disease? Cholera, tuberculosis, or the Spanish flu? Cholera, tuberculosis, or the Spanish flu? Which one was it built for?
Joanne said TB. And Lee said TB. It looks like Lee got it. They got it at right about the same time, though.
Okay.
They're both right. We'll call that a draw.
Okay.
They're pretty almost the
Okay.
same time.
All right. We'll just give them each one.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, if they come in right, just bing, bing.
Yeah. Right, almost same time.
Okay. Number 7, St. Augustine Lighthouse in St. Augustine, Florida, which is obviously, I believe it's the oldest city in Florida. St.
I believe that's
Augustine.
correct.
Visitors claim to hear laughter of who? A pair of young girls, a lost sailor, or the lighthouse keeper's ghost? So is it a pair of young girls, a lost sailor, or the lighthouse keeper's ghost? And St. Augustine Lighthouse. What do visitors claim to hear?
All right. Lee came in with girls. And Joanne said young girls. They are both right, but Lee came in first.
Okay.
Next question.
Number
8.
8. We have only 10 questions. The Bell Witch Cave in Adams, Tennessee. Okay, here we go. Legend says this witch tormented which historical figure's family? Was it Andrew Jackson, Davy Crockett, or Daniel Boone? The Bell Witch Cave. Legend says this witch tormented which historical figure's family? Andrew Jackson, Davy Crockett, or Daniel Boone?
So Lee said Boone. What does Joanne say? Andrew Jackson. And Joanne is right. Andrew Jackson. So 1 point for Joanne.
Okay. Where does that put them?
We are Lee is up 4 to 3. So 2 questions left. Could go either way.
So Lee's up 1 question.
Correct. But there's 2 left. So
All right. The Crescent Hotel.
But no pressure because it's not a contest.
No, it's
There's
not
no
a
pressure
contest.
whatsoever.
No, not at all. The Crescent Hotel in Eureka Springs, Arkansas, once called America's most haunted hotel. What was it before becoming a hotel? Was it a girls' school, a cancer hospital, or a boarding house? The Crescent Hotel, what was it? A girls' school, a cancer hospital, or a boarding house? So it's A, B, or C. Mary Jo says hospital. Joanne said hospital. And I think
it is a hospital, but Joanne came in first. So now it is tied 4-4.
Hospital. Yep, yeah, you're right.
So whoever gets the next one doesn't win anything because it's not a
No,
contest.
they don't win anything. Something might get sent, no charge, but you don't
Right.
win it.
Not a win.
It's just, you just get it. Because, why?
Just because Doug's a nice guy. No
We're
other
just
reason
feeling
whatsoever.
generous. That's it. All right. Gettysburg is the last question. Gettysburg Battlefield, Pennsylvania. Many visitors report phantom soldiers. And that really is a thing, man. I've talked to so many people that have seen these phantom soldiers still fighting the Civil War. What year was the battle fought? 1861? 1863 or 1865? 1861, 1863, or 1865? A, B, or C?
It's on my bucket list to see that. I've never been there.
I haven't either. I've been so close. I just never had time.
So Lee said 63 and Joanne said 61. And Lee is correct. And doesn't win even though she has more points.
No, she didn't win anything.
So Lee, if you could please send me your mailing it. I need your name and mailing address. I just put up the address, my email up on the screen here. Jeff P at untoldradioam.com. So yeah, Lee.
I think those guys are so close. Get them both. We'll send them both.
Okay. So yep, you're the boss, man. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah,
It's not a prize.
Let's
not a
get those
contest.
guys both not a prize.
So both you gals,
That proves.
Please,
See, that
please.
proves it's not a contest.
Yep, just email me your information and we'll get that out to you because you didn't win anything.
Nothing. And I think, unless you guys don't want it or already have it, I will send you both a Bigfoot museum.
Yeah, pretty cool little model. It's neat.
You can put up on your shelf. Okay.
So much, Joanne says that was so much fun because I didn't think it was a contest.
Right. That's exactly why. All right.
It's not for entertainment at all.
No. Okay. Let's do our clips and we're going to bring on Tex.
All right.
We'll zip through these bad boys.
All right. Let me turn my music off. Get this off the screen.
Oh, please
and
leave that music going. Just leave it going, Jeff. I think we just leave it going the whole time.
you really want it going?
No, please.
I don't think so. All right. So it is time for. Where is my button? Where is my button? Time for clips.
I'm here.
There you are.
There I am. I do that just to make you mad. See? Mad.
You got to look at my giant head.
Okay, clip one. Sound
Clip
is
one.
good. Something's really wrong. I don't think Jeff can hear me. Jeff,
Yes.
stop the clip. I
Yes.
needed to introduce the clip. You didn't let me introduce the clip.
I'm sorry.
I got to introduce it.
Well, introduce it.
Oh, I will, but you already played it. Okay, something's really wrong here in this clip. Now, I don't know. Some people spot it right away. Some people don't. but I want you to carefully tell us in the chat what you see that's wrong. I mean, something's really, really wrong here. You didn't notice anything, did you, Jeff?
Yeah,
Oh, you did? Okay.
I did.
Well, I don't know if other people did.
I'm not going to say what it is.
Okay, well, that's good. Well, yeah, you're a cheater. Anyhow, go ahead and play it. Now, the first person, oh, okay, somebody already did. Most people are so focused on him, they're not noticing other people are watching that. Okay, that's good. We got it. So the first person that mentioned it was Squatch Mama.
Yeah. Looks like he's walking backwards and then played it back in reverse.
Yeah, of course. Okay.
Pretty clever. Fun little trick.
That was clever. Clip 2, the sound is good. And the question is, would you do this? There's so much trust here between this man and this gorilla that this gorilla could just grab his hand and just, I mean, he could just kill him instantly. Keep in mind, this is a wild ape.
It's a big gorilla.
Yeah. What would you do that? Would you do this gorilla?
I see one.
That's amazing.
That's good. Okay. Clip 3, sound is good. This is the largest snake I've ever seen. It's 22 foot long. It's a reticulated
She is so strong. Deputy, stand up with her. Oh my gosh, she's 230 pounds, and that was like a squat.
Isn't that crazy?
Thanks.
How cool is that?
That's a beautiful color.
Blondie, one of the largest snakes here at the Legacy Aquarium.
There you go, Jeff. Just what you need.
No, thanks.
Get you a
I'm not
little
real big on
aquarium. Clip 4, sound is good. So this is in South America. There's a hole below a river, and basically an underwater tornado just keeps on spinning. There you go.
That's really cool.
It is cool. It's like nice clean water. Clip 5. Sound is good. Here is my definition of focus. This is Jeff when he's working on clip. All right.
That's wild.
That's the look you get when you're working on clips.
Hyper focused.
Hyper focus.
We got a lot going on here, man.
I know.
I'm complaining. Just got a lot going on.
Yeah, clip 6. Did I say sick?
Yeah.
Clip 6. There's an any audio. A man captured this from his backyard using a telescope and a double stacked hydrogen alpha Etalon filter. It says apparently this wall of fire is 5 Earths high and 25 Earths wide. And this was captured by a guy named Mike Fitzgerald in his backyard. Pretty cool.
That's great. That's a great shot.
This is the surface of the sun. Isn't that crazy that somebody could film that from the backyard?
Yeah. The tech is just amazing for that. And it's gotten so much cheaper. Anybody can do that. Anybody with patience can do some amazing stuff.
All right. And then clip 7, the sound is good. The sound sacs are strong.
Yeah.
Just, yeah.
I'm getting the next clip ready, man.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
Someone's got to get the next clip ready.
All right. Sound is okay. So skeptics, you guys think the Bigfoot is too weird to exist? Watch. Oh, no. I got one ahead of myself. Clip 8.
This is clip
This
8.
is just cool because this spider monkey is just so chill the way it walks on the beach, climbs up on this ship, just like a kind of a mature adult person. Just so chill.
That is cool.
I've known people
Just
that
hanging out.
I've known people that have owned spider monkeys,
Mhm.
and that tail is so prehensile
Yeah.
that the last person I talked to that had a couple of spider monkeys said they were ripping the ceramic tiles off the bathroom wall with their tail. They could grip the tile and just tear it out with their tail. Is that crazy?
Yeah. It's a neat animal.
Yeah, no, they are cool. All right. The next one I was introducing, the sound is good. So if you think Bigfoot's weird, look at this creature. Could you imagine if that was 12 foot wide and up on land?
It'd be terrifying.
Yeah, it would. Clip 10. Audio's good. Have you ever heard of a Kalugu?
No, I don't think so.
Well, it's its own category of animal.
This lemur-like creature is actually a colugo, a real-life flying mammal that isn't a bat or a lemur. Found in Southeast Asia, this animal glides through the forest for up to 200 feet, using a stretchy membrane of skin that connects its limbs and tail like a living parachute. Colugos are masters of silent flight, feeding mostly on leaves, shoots, and flowers. Their large eyes give them perfect night vision, and mothers even carry their babies while gliding from tree to tree.
That's cool, man. I didn't know about that one.
No. And the comment, I think we should give a prize away each show for the coolest, wittiest comment.
That could be hard to judge.
And Flat Rockland came up with the best one. This animal is not a contest either.
He's not.
Not a contest.
So he doesn't get a prize.
No, doesn't get a prize. Let's see. I lost my place.
Clip 11 is next.
Yeah, clip 11.
This weird thing.
Go ahead and pronounce this. Kleptoplasty.
Kleptoplasty?
Have you ever heard of that?
I have not.
This is really a cool creature.
This creature can photosynthesize like a plant. Meet the leaf sheep. This tiny sea slug looks like a cartoon sheep, but lives underwater, grazing on algae. What makes it special? It can photosynthesize like a plant. By stealing chloroplast from the algae it eats, it turns sunlight into energy, a process called kleptoplasty.
Where'd you go? That's really cool.
I'm here. It's the leaf sheep.
Yeah.
All right. Where are we at? Clip 12.
Well,
sound is good. What lies beneath Yellowstone? Okay, here's where it's. See, that's Yellowstone. That represents the entire park. Now go ahead and they're going to pan out. That's how much lava is below Yellowstone National Park.
wow.
That's what's waiting to erupt. That gives
And
you
it
an
will
idea.
at some point.
Yeah, it gives you an idea of the volume. Yvette said to me, she looked at that and she goes, "We're screwed."
Yeah, at some point that's going to go.
She goes, "That's why I don't want to go to Yellowstone." I'm like, yeah, makes sense. Wouldn't want.
Somebody died. Didn't somebody die there recently? I think somebody fell in one of the hot steam.
Well, yeah.
Somebody fell in and died rather unpleasantly.
Something. Let's see here. This one is good humor because I like humor that could happen to anybody. Just go ahead and watch this.
That's not good. It wasn't ice cream.
No.
Yuck.
That could happen. I could see that happening.
I got dive bombed once by a bird, but I didn't lick it.
Like, could you imagine the feeling of you did? Oh my God, that was great. Okay. This one is kind of interesting. Just hang on. Let me explain. So, okay, you got to leave a comment on this, either in the comments or in chat. This is an experiment to determine whether you're left brain or right brain. So if you see a pink and white shoe, you're either right or left, he'll tell you, or a gray and mint shoe.
You ready?
Gee, I just burped. Did you hear that?
This is going to blow your mind. What two
didn't.
colors do you see in this shoe? Pink and white or gray-green? Right brain people, they actually see gray-green. Left brain people, they see pink and white. It's driving me crazy. What colors do you see? I see pink and white. Do you see gray-green? Let me know in the comments.
So what do you see, Jeff?
I see gray-green.
I do too. So Lee goes pink and white. Loretta says pink and white. That's so interesting.
That's
I
crazy.
couldn't imagine that ever being pink and white.
Yeah, it's definitely gray-green.
But it does work. The experiment does work. So now you know. I'm right brain. It looks like some of you guys out there, some of you gals out there are left brain. It's interesting. All right.
Clip. We got to clip the 15. Didn't I couldn't get 15 to work.
Oh, that's fine.
Skip to clip 16, please.
All right. So the sound is good. I just would freak out. Look at this. This is 500 pounds of leaping love. Watch this. Could you imagine?
Yeah, lions are cuddlers. They get affectionate. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, except a buddy of mine got eaten by his lion.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding you. He did.
Yeah, that's. I wouldn't want to be around one like that.
They can kind of just turn on you.
A wild animal, man.
Yep. Okay, this next one is really interesting. I sent it to David Ellis because I have never heard or seen this kind of behavior. Go ahead and play it. The sound is good. Coyotes hum.
He's out.
I'm pretty sure that's a skinwalker.
Anyhow,
that's pretty crazy.
I've never, I can hear it in my headphones. I can feel that vibration. It's crazy. I didn't know coyotes could make such a sound. All right.
18.
Number 18 sounds good on this one. This one comes from Rocky Mountain Sasquatch Organization. And this is really interesting. This was, I think it's real. I just don't know what it was. Certainly, it runs through my head. Was this filmed in Africa somewhere? But it's definitely seems like it's real. It's past all of my normal red flag tests. Go ahead and
He
play
didn't
it.
even notice it. Another person on Snapchat pointed it out and slowed it down a little bit for her. How the heck does something leap down from a tree at breakneck speed and not break both legs or other body parts when it hits the ground? This creature, Bigfoot if you will, or maybe an escaped giant monkey that is so intent at hiding because it does not want to go back to the zoo, uses controlled descents. Let me show you. I'll take you through the zoomed frames of interest, then I'll enlarge the video and slow it down for you. This is where the creature had leaped from the tree from higher up and at first grabs a hold of the tree. I'm talking about controlled descent. It is propelling itself towards the ground by grabbing branches or the trunk of the tree, and it's also controlling its descent. It's not going to sustain an injury when it
Jeff,
gets to the
that's
ground. May have also landed on.
Okay, so if you want more information on that clip, go to Rocky Mountain Sasquatch Organization.
Okay.
You can study it all you want, but I found it interesting. So yes, definitely there's an ape or something that looks like an ape. I don't think it'd be a guy in a suit leaping up from a tree. Just it's
Wow.
not your normal thing to do in a suit, right?
Yep.
So I found it interesting, but you're going to have to decide all on your own. Okay, clip 19, sound is good. This is an amazing color of meltwater up in Antarctica or down in Antarctica. It's just absolutely phenomenal, the color. Isn't it beautiful?
It's amazing.
I was in Austria, and the only time I've seen, water that kind of color was in Austria, and some of the mountain rainwater that was coming down off the mountains. Some of the streams were kind of that blue. It was beautiful.
I went through an ice cave in Austria. It was really neat.
An ice cave?
Yeah, it's an ice cave. It's
Oh,
outside of Salzburg. Really cool, up in the Alps.
I went to Salzburg. I just stayed there one night, but I didn't do any exploring.
Cool
around
city.
there. Yeah, it's kind of on the, as I remember, it's kind of on the border of Switzerland.
Yeah, it's right on the edge of the Alps. So yeah, it's right.
Yeah.
I mean, you go up into the mountains. It's
See, I was in
beautiful.
a hurry to get to Switzerland, and
Yeah,
I
we
just
were there for a few days. It was great.
kind of blew that off. Yeah.
All right, last one more. Ready?
Last one, clip 20. Sound is good. This is another unexplained artifact or a natural formation found on Mars because the shadows say it all. So go ahead and play it. It's rib bone mineral.
Weird.
Another Mars mystery.
Now, to me, it looks like sedimentary rock that was eroded by.
Sure.
Yeah.
But those are sticking out quite. I mean, we see by the shadows, they're quite tall.
Yeah.
Or horizontal. I mean, they're protruding quite a bit.
Well, it's sedimentary, so yeah, maybe something in just different density was layered in there. Who knows? It's pretty wild.
Come on, just let me have my fantasy. It was a dead Mars dinosaur that died there, and it's just rib bones.
It's an ancient Mars dinosaur. Yes, you're right.
Thank you. Gosh. Okay.
All right.
If you want to look that up, that was on mission. It was Sol 3786 20230401. There you go. And
Eric might agree with me, but Eric, you're wrong. It's a dinosaur.
Yes,
you're
Eric,
wrong. You're wrong, Eric.
Eric's always wrong. It's
Your
always
science be damned, sir.
it's always a dinosaur.
Always. Or Bigfoot.
Okay, Tex Wesson.
Tex. Yep.
Tex is we're going to do our disclaimer. Then you want me to introduce him? Or are you not doing the disclaimer? What's going on?
Let's disclaim.
See, that's Jeff's way of distancing himself from my dinosaur rib.
We have officially disclaimed, and it's not a contest.
It's not a contest. So Tex Wesson is a veteran cryptid investigator, host of the YouTube channel Tex's Front Porch, where he documents up-close fieldwork into creatures such as Dogman, Bigfoot, drawing on decades of research and multiple claimed encounters across the U.S. He's also featured in the documentary Dogman Triangle and has been a guest on major paranormal platforms, including Coast to Coast AM. His new book, by the way, is kind of divergent. It's called Infamous Minds of True Crime. So it's a bit of a shift for Tex. So that's why I'm curious.
Yeah.
That's why we've got him on. We want to see what inspired this book and how this might all tie into his interest in Bigfoot and Dogman.
All right. Welcome, Tex. Here we come on. There we go. Hi, Tex.
Howdy, folks. How you doing?
See you.
Hey, Tex.
I agree with you, Doug. Dinosaur. All the
Sure.
Yeah.
Why not?
It's what I want.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
What got me though is y'all are going through all these clips and everything, and you're breezing through this. You got a lion hugging a guy, and just in passing, and Jeff, I'm disappointed in you. Just in passing, Doug says, "Oh yeah, buddy of mine got eaten by his lion," and y'all just went right over it.
Oh
How
yeah,
could you not pump the
didn't
brakes?
phase him at all.
Wait a minute, we got to talk about this.
Let's hear more about it. Well, to be fair, I've spent a lot of time with Doug, and that's not the crazy story that he's told me. So you make a fair point, but I've heard some pretty crazy stories.
Well, okay, I'll tell you what happened real quick. We were filming a projector commercial for a projector, and the idea was to have this lion leap out of the screen onto a conference table, right? So you get the scene. Well, in order to do that, you can't have the actors there. We had to film the scene of the people at the table, and then film the lion leaping out of the screen separately. And we had to have the lion chained because you got to deal with all these ordinances. And so the lion, we had to paint the chain green so we could knock it out and rotoscope it out of there. Okay. And that's all good. But the trainer, who I knew, he kept saying, well, if something goes wrong, just get the hell out of the room. If the line starts like knocking all your lights down and just like going crazy. Okay, great. So it kind of let me know maybe this line had kind of a wild side.
Right.
And I thought to myself, God, Bill, I hope you don't get eaten. It wasn't even maybe 12 months later, he went in to clean the pen and the lion got him and ate him.
That's awful.
It's just sad. Yeah. That's the second friend that has been eaten by a big cat that I've, known.
Right.
Steve Grischel's wife, Cindy, got eaten by her tiger too at the Big Cat Reserve. And I just, I go there. I like to spend time with these big cats and stuff, but I'm always just like, ugh, I couldn't imagine doing this every day.
Oh, that's awful.
I was filming a cougar once, Tex, and I was filming it and laying down of just trying to get a natural shot of it eating for some documentary I was working on, probably MonsterQuest. And the cougar decided it was going to leap at me. It leaped at me and broke its chain. So it broke its chain and leaped literally over the top of me. And I got this most incredible shot. But then the big cat turned to attack me. And right before that happened, the owner got this cat under control and they actually got all scratched up out of it. So, I mean, that's just not fun. Anyhow, sorry. True crime.
What is the old saying that actors always, there's two things that you want to avoid, and that's children and animals?
Yes, exactly. But it's been a crazy ride.
That's I mean, it's don't get me wrong, it's sad, but it's just it's kind of like with going out in the field and doing this investigation and stuff, well, you kind of know what you signed up for. You know the risk,
Yeah. Well, I used to have this guy that I would hang out with, and he was great because he had all these animals. He had, snow leopards. I needed a snow leopard. Call Steve up, go up there, meet him. I'd load the snow leopards in the truck, and away we're going. I need to get a scene of snow leopards. I was working on a snow documentary, and I needed footage of a snow leopard or leopards leaping over a stream for the doc. I wanted this spectacular, but I'm probably one of the weirdest people. I can just I know who to call. So I just call him up and we just go out and do it. And he doesn't give me any warning. He just releases the leopards, and I know damn well I just had bacon for breakfast, and I probably got bacon grease on my shirt. And I have these leopards that are just sniffing all over you and stuff and taking up. But anyhow, we got our shot. It's just an absolute beautiful shot of these snow leopards leaping.
They're such majestic creatures.
Oh, they are. Really they're beautiful. Yeah. But it's scary being, when you're in with them and there's no protection.
Well, me and a buddy of mine cornered a bobcat one time, and they only weigh 40 pounds or so. But I got to tell you, that's 40 pounds of PO'd bad cat. I mean, and we had to kill it because it was gonna. We were walking down we were just out hiking, and we were walking down an old creek bed, and we went around a corner, and it was boxed in is what it was. There was a waterfall, and it was boxed in on three sides, and it was drinking out of the pool by the water underneath the waterfall. And there wasn't but one way out, and that was through us, and unfortunately, because you can't turn your back on them, right? You can't run because you automatically become prey.
Oh, they can just turn you into ribbons.
Yeah. So unfortunately, we had to kill it, because we kept backing up, and we tried backing up out of there, but it just kept approaching us, and it wouldn't give up. So unfortunately, we had to kill it, and I hated it, but yeah, wild. And I say wild animals, but even domesticated animals, you really have to watch.
Yeah, it's just probably the scariest thing in my life that ever happened to me. This is a true story with a wild, I shouldn't say wild, somewhat domesticated, but not really, right. Was one day I needed wolverines. So I called my buddy, and of course, do you have wolverines? He's like, yeah, I got 2 of them. And I'm like, are you crazy? And he goes, oh, yeah. I said, can you handle them? He goes, well, yeah, sort of. I mean, they kind of handle you, but yeah. So I go up there, and it's a really cold day, and I need to get this footage. And God dang it, he did it again. He just released these damn 2 wolverines, and one of them immediately just shoved his nose into my crotch and did this. And he just kept doing this, and he's just buried his nose. I mean, he's really hitting it hard up my crotch, and he's just growling and sucking air in and blowing air out. And I'm like, Steve, am I going to lose my junk? And he goes, I wouldn't move. He goes, he's just trying to get a handle on your scent because wolverines are very myopic. They can't see well. And he goes, he might do it later too. After, if we keep working with him, he might do it. I'm like, oh God, that was the scariest thing ever. To have a wolverine snorting on your junk.
Yeah. Because it wouldn't take much for him to change you to a rooster to a hen.
Oh boy, that wouldn't be much. And anyhow, that was a bad day. And that was the day I ended up getting pretty seriously injured that day. But I got my shot.
That's what counts.
That's what counts. Anyhow, back. All right, that's enough of this. We could talk. It's just when me and Tex talk, it's just like there's just so many crazy things we could talk about. How in the hell did you get this idea to write this book? Because I didn't even know you were interested in true crime.
Well, actually, that's it's been a passion for mine for years.
Wow.
And what I've always been interested in is the psychological portion of it. I could care less about, all the, gory details and everything. And I really don't talk about that part of it unless it's pertinent, because when we talk about people being brutal and people being ruthless, it's really the movies you see, Hannibal and all this kind of stuff, Dexter and whatever movie you want to point to. It's really doesn't hold a candle to what these people have done to other folks in real life. And the psychological aspect behind that is fascinating to me, because I can't fathom people having, or somebody having, no more empathy than somebody does when they're cleaning, when I've cleaned an animal that I've killed,
or a walleye or a fish.
Yeah. But these psychopaths or sociopaths, and then there's a big argument too between the difference of a sociopath and a psychopath. Some people are saying now there is no difference. Some people say that there's just subtle differences. But either way, they have no empathy, and they can compartmentalize like, it's no tomorrow.
But what about somebody that a serial killer, what about somebody they love? Are they compassionate towards just certain people? Because I was watching a mob, a show on Netflix about the mob out in Boston. And there was a guy who was literally talking about how, he basically did away with people, on a weekly basis.
Right.
But he ended up losing his brother. And he was crying about the loss of his brother, not thinking about all the other people that had lost their brother because of him. Right. And I don't get it. Is that normal for
no, it's not normal.
People to just not get it?
What we paint as normal as a society anyway. But that is one of the differences that people talk about between sociopaths and psychopaths. Because a sociopath, now here's the argument here. A sociopath is able to have what we call meaningful relationships, and a psychopath is not. And so that's where you see that separation, that compartmentalization, and when you can have feelings for somebody, but just absolutely none for anybody else. So it's still being, like I said, it's a hot debate topic within the circles, and there's it's heated. I mean, there's a lot of heated disagreements on that. I haven't made my mind up about it yet, because you hear so many different stories of just like what you were talking about, Doug, with these people. So, and does it really matter if you label them a sociopath or a psychopath if they've killed 10 people? Yeah. Why do labels matter when it comes to that? But there seems to be something, and I don't know I don't know what the difference is, or where the difference lies, because there again, you also have the narcissistic thing that comes into play, because every psychopath, and I'm just going to use that one term instead of sociopaths, but all psychopaths are narcissists, but not all narcissists are psychopaths.
Okay.
And there are different degrees of the psychopathic nature, psychopathic behavior. And when you really start finding out how many psychopathic people that in your daily life, it's worrisome. But the thing about it is, they're not to that level.
Well, what about people? Have you met? I've met, I wouldn't say a ton, but I've met a handful of people that will look in the eye and just lie.
Yeah.
They just make up stuff like crazy, and it's like they believe it. Are they dangerous or are they not dangerous?
Some of them can be. Because that, what I used to say about a certain person that I had a relationship with, she would rather climb up a tree backwards and tell the truth about anything, and when you're dealing with a pathological liar, it's you really have to be on your game, because most of the time you don't find out until it's too late.
Right.
Them being dangerous as far as, and that's where we come into this part of it. Somebody being dangerous doesn't necessarily, that term, it's a blanket term that we use a lot, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're a danger physically. Okay. You can be a danger to somebody emotionally, you know, and absolutely destroy somebody's family or whatever. And there's a lot of these pathological liars, and that tend to be narcissists that, they don't care. Whatever, it's their goal, and that's what they're hyper focused on, and they don't care about how they get what they want. If they have to lie about it, if they have to hurt somebody emotionally, whatever, it doesn't matter. As long as they get the end game of what they're looking for. Okay. And there again, when I was talking about the different psychopathical levels of psychopathy, a lot of your corporate headhunters, in fact, I would say probably all of them, corporate headhunters and even CEOs, professional athletes, politicians, they all are at some level psychopath, because they can compartmentalize, you know, and they doesn't matter. Say, corporate headhunters are one of my favorites, because they can destroy lives, lay people off, whatever, it doesn't matter. And they can sleep at night. I couldn't sleep at night knowing I just cost, you know, a week before Christmas, I just was laid off 200 people. I couldn't do that. It would, you know, it would bother me to the core. But there are people that are equipped to handle that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And a good example of somebody doing what we would call good things, and that's arguable, but and being a psycho and having psychopathic tendencies is an interview that I've got coming up, and I can't wait. We're trying to get our schedules to gel, but I'm going to be interviewing a former executioner from Texas, and he performed over 170 executions, and he's a really nice guy. And when we were talking, and he was telling me, you know, what he did and everything. Now he does, don't get me wrong, he does have PTSD from doing this stuff, right? But I'm like, you realize, he said, but I could sleep at night. It wasn't that, you know, it was just a job to me. I said, you realize that is psychopathic behavior, to be able to compartmentalize like that. And he goes, yeah, I know. You know, some people are just built for this kind of stuff, and some people aren't. That's why we see a lot of the psychopaths go into roles of where they have either in their own head or legitimate power over people. Okay, but most of them, not all of them, there are exceptions to the rule, can't hold down a meaningful job. Okay. So they end up in roles like a security guard is a big one. Why? Because most of them want to be a police officer or in law enforcement or something of that kind of that nature, but they can't pass the psych exam to get in. You know? So you see a lot of these psychopath serial killers, mostly, that gravitate towards these positions of power. Okay, it's no different than, you know, pedos gravitating towards where they'll run into their victims. Okay.
Yeah. What about is there? Yeah, I don't want you to give away your book, but Is there some key case that kind of was the backbone of your book, Tex?
You know, and I have to, I need to give a shout out here because this is not just solely my book. Okay. And unfortunately she wasn't able to join us, but Danielle Diva, Danielle Barazone, co-wrote this with me, or I co-wrote it with her, however you want to look at it. She's really deserves the lion's share of the credit for this book. It was her idea. And what it is, it's based on the cases that we covered the first year we did this show. And unfortunately, with our changes in our schedule and everything, we've kind of put the show on hiatus, but it goes over all the cases that we went over. For me, there is a case that has really stood out to me over the years. And because it's so diabolical, I could never get my mind wrapped around the pure evil. And I don't know what else to call it. You know, people all argue that does evil exist? In my mind, yes, it does. And that's Albert Fish, the werewolf of Wisteria. And this took place back in the 1920s, and his victims were children. Okay. And they don't know how many victims he had because his victims didn't all die. Now he had just a horror, and like most of these people that are talked about, or all these people talked about in the book, they had a horrific upbringing. And there's a key factor that we see. There's a few key factors that we see in probably 99% of the cases. And that's where there was an overbearing mother figure and either an absent or abusive father. Okay. And it is that's hard to just ignore. Okay. Those factors are hard to ignore. But Fish, I'll give you one example. His mother, his dad died, and his mother, there was like 3 or 4 kids, and she decided she couldn't take care of them. Back in that day, you could just drop your kids off at an orphanage. Okay. And then come pick them up years later. You know, I don't know that again, our systems back then were horrific. You know, you could, if as a man, now this is crazy, as a man, if your wife was hard to get along with, you could just drop her off at a sanitarium and call her hysterical, and off she went. Okay. But it's the same thing with children. You could just dump them, you know. And she did this, and then he was
well, what did he do, Tex, before we get too deep into as to why? I'm not familiar with this guy.
Yeah,
he was a monster.
Yeah.
Are you,
he
Jeff?
really was.
Yeah, he was a monster. Just unbelievably evil.
Yeah. But I can see the crossover why you got interested in him, because if you said he was pretending to be a werewolf? Or?
No, that was just a nickname of his.
Oh, okay.
But he would torture and rape children. Okay. And he killed some of them. And the most famous one was his last victim. Okay. And that was Grace Budd. She was 10 years old. And what he did, that whole case with her. And real quick, you talked about, you know, the crossover between the paranormal and all this kind of stuff. I honestly believe that she reached out beyond the grave and got him caught. Okay. Now, when he would put ads in the want ads, okay, and pretend to be a wealthy landowner and hire these young people. Okay, and that's how he attracted a lot of these young people.
Oh, Tex, we're losing you. Can you turn your body something?
Is that better?
Yeah, you were blocking your own internet.
Damn, I knew I was big, but
no, I didn't mean that.
We're good now.
There we are.
So anyway, what he did was he had put this ad out, and this young man answered this ad to work for him, and he went over to the house to meet him. Well, when he got there, it was Grace's brother, and he was 17 or 18 at the time. And when he got there, he realized that Grace's brother was too big for him to be able to control, because Albert Fish was a little frail, old grandpa looking man. Okay. Very unassuming. And that's another thing that we see in a lot of these cases. You know, you want somebody that's evil. You want to be able to pick them out in the crowd, but you can't. Okay. And so when he gets there, he automatically realizes that he's not going to be able to handle Grace's brother. So he automatically switches gears and targets Grace once she comes up from upstairs. And he convinces her mother and father to let her go to his niece's birthday party, is what he said. And the mother didn't want her to go. Was totally against it. Her dad said, "Come on, let her go. We don't have any money. She doesn't ever get to do anything. Let her be a kid." Right? And I get that. But I'd have been going, "Well, we'll go with you," type thing, right? But different time, I guess. So they allowed her to go with him. And she put on the nicest dress that she had, which is her coronation dress, and went on the subway with it, train with it. And when they had stopped, and they had got up, and he had got off the train, and Grace was right there, and she goes, "Oh, wait a minute, you forgot your bag," which was his murder kit. She runs back to the seat where they were, grabs his bag, runs over, and jumps into his arms. And then they go over to this house in Wisteria, and he leaves her downstairs, tells her to stay downstairs, goes upstairs, strips down, and calls her upstairs. Well, when she gets upstairs, she sees him. She starts crying. She's going to tell her mom and everything. And he kills her. Well, he doesn't only kill her. He proceeds to mutilate her, dismember her, and eat her. And then afterwards wrote a letter. Now, this is maybe one of the cruelest things I've ever heard done. I mean, don't get me wrong, the whole crime is, but this really shows his sadistic nature.
Yeah, just keep it.
Yeah,
clean.
But he writes a letter to her parents, blaming them for what has happened to her, and describing in very, very graphic detail of what he did. Now he does tell her, that she remained pure. He did not do that to her. He could have, but he didn't. But he outlines exactly how and what parts and everything else, and how long it took him to eat her, roast her and eat her, and blames her parents. Now, that letter, he had never done anything like this before. That letter is how he got caught, because he wrote it on, he was staying in a boarding house. It was on the letterhead that he tried to scratch out, but you could still see it. And that's how the investigators actually ended up apprehending him. Now, after his apprehension, he was, he started complaining. And one time he started complaining of abdominal pain and all this kind of stuff. And when they went in, and this x-ray is online, you can see this. The letter is online too. If you want to read it, I don't suggest people go read it. It's horrible. But the x-ray, when they took the x-ray of him, he had 49 or 51, I can't remember the number, pins that he had inserted into his genital area and anus area, because he was a true sadomasochist. He enjoyed, pain and giving it. Okay. When he was finally executed, and he was executed by the electric chair, he was looking, I think, what was his last words? Looking forward to the ride or something like that. I mean, it was just, the guy was crazy. I mean, well, and see, that's another thing. When we call them crazy, right? Well, obviously there's something wrong with these people.
Well,
they're not wired
I mean, is it as simple as just lacking complete empathy, 100% empathy, or is it possession of some sort?
Now, see, that opens up a whole new,
I realize,
a whole new wormhole for me, because I'm working with a theory, okay, that some of this is what I call, and I've coined the term, I think, acute possession. Okay. Now, because a lot of these women that you hear about and we read about that have killed their children, and then some of them you'll hear afterwards that they don't remember doing it, or it wasn't me. I don't know what happened. And then they grieve afterwards. I think what may be happening in some cases, not all, but in some cases, is that, and if you're a spiritual person, you believe in these evil spirits like I do, demonic, possession, that these things look for a low point, a weak point, a chink in our armor to jump in. Postpartum depression is a big one for women. It's a very, very, they're very, very weak emotionally and mentally at that point. And I think that is what's happening for a lot of these women that do these horrendous things.
Well, what about, I hate to bring this up, but it's, it's controversy, but a lot of these serial shooters, people are involved in mass shooting. It's kind of a similar deal. A lot of them they've found are on these psychotropic drugs, basically antidepressants that, you always see the warnings on TV if you have thoughts of this, and this. Well, thoughts of suicide are also going to translate into thoughts of, doing other people. And it just kind of seems like it gives some people, not everybody, or if the wrong dose, or God knows, but that commonality seems like it's not being looked at also. And that's kind of a modern problem. I'm not saying any of these people they were on anything, but have they confirmed that they weren't on any forms of early psychotropic drugs?
Well, a lot of your postpartum, victims are, just to try to help them through that.
Yeah.
And that's dangerous because a lot of people can't take antidepressants and stuff like that, depending on the doctor, depending on their views, if they're breastfeeding, and they have to get through this, just tough it out.
Yeah.
And a lot of them don't have the support, unfortunately, to go through that. Now, you were talking about these spree shooters, and that's a weird difference, because with some of, you could arguably, where's the line between these spree killers and a serial killer? Okay, because the difference is, and I'll tell you right now, the difference is these spree killers, 99% of the time, and you talked about suicide and homicide, right? Their end game is not to survive what they're going to do. They're either going to take their own life or they're going to commit suicide.
Well, like right here in Minneapolis, we had a horrific incident at a church.
Right.
That's just, you can't even fathom.
Yeah.
And so like you had mentioned, a lot of them don't, but some are wearing bulletproof vests, and thinking they're going to get through it. I don't know. The whole thing is just, I can't comprehend it, I guess.
I don't think they're looking to survive the ordeal with the body armor. I think they're looking to prolong it.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now there's a big to-do right now over the Killdozer case. Now, if you haven't heard about that, this guy in this small town, he moved into this small town. He tried to make his living, opened his own business and everything. And really, if you really read into it, the whole city was ran by just a couple of families, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, they made up the city council, they made up the wealthiest people, they made up these committees and all this kind of stuff. So the whole system was rigged against him, right? And they put together these new sanctions that basically would force him to sell his property. Okay. And it just went on and went on. And depending on who you believe, they drove him to do this. I mean, they really did. If you take that side of things, but I think he was on the edge, really. I mean, but he was a welder. So he turns this bulldozer into this armored tank, encapsulates the cab, adds there hangs a 50 caliber out of the door. I mean, out of one of the slots, mounts cameras that are on the outside, so he doesn't have to have any slots, adds air conditioning. I mean, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
Right. And it's made out of like 1/2-inch plate steel. There's not many rounds that are going to get through that, and drives through the town, taking out these buildings and businesses and everything else. There you go. That's Killdozer right there.
Yeah. P. Meyer. Yep. Crazy story.
Yeah. And when he finally ran into this one building and finally ended up getting stuck, and the dozer was overheating and everything else. And then they heard one final gunshot, and it was him killing himself, But to hear everybody talk that knew him before, he was just the nicest guy, would help anybody and everything else. And then, with all this stuff, going to these, and if you really want to get an inside look on what this guy was dealing with and everything else, these city council meetings are online. They're public. You can watch them, but the people that he was dealing with, if you watch them in the meetings and then watch interviews with them, they're totally different people.
Yeah.
They're totally different people.
It's a good documentary on that. Yeah.
Would you say there's that you could classify these type of people that have committed these horrific crimes, into a number of categories? Is it kind of broken down into 3 categories? Is that something you've done or thought about? Or there more than that,
Yeah, because I go over so many cases and trying to, and I'm a layman. I mean, I've never been to school for any of this stuff. Unlike Danielle. Danielle works at a mental health care facility.
Yeah.
She's second in command up there. She she evaluates these patients.
Well, formal education text has nothing to do with anything. Either you're a smart person, or you're not.
I've been accused
You're
of a lot of
obviously
things,
very
smart
intelligent.
usually among them, but okay.
You need a formal training. In fact, people like yourself are going to do a way better job in my book.
Well, Danielle really offers a lot of great insight in this stuff, because, and I think that's what makes us such a great team, because we come at it at different angles. You know, she's looking at it, you know, from a, what do you call it? See, I'm not this smart.
Well, from a mental health perspective.
Well, mental health perspective, I'm looking at it from just, you know, a regular Joe's perspective, and asking stupid questions. And so I think it's great to have that dynamic, you know. But when you start talking about classification of these people, that's where there's a lot of debate on how to classify these people, because there are so many levels of narcissism, psychopathy, and you know, and you don't even know where to call them. There is a psychopathy checklist.
And isn't there also going to be a breaking point, or the straw that broke the camel's back, for certain people, where they get along? That's the weird thing. Somebody can be 60 years old and they've lived a pretty normal, law-abiding life. They've never hurt a soul. And all of a sudden they'll snap, and they've been like pushed over the edge from whatever, 60 years of holding in their emotions or whatever their problem is.
Right.
And then they'll start hurting people. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
How did you get that far?
Well, you know, there again, people talk about, well, we don't have as many serial killers now as we used to. That's not the case. That is not the case. We have just as many people out there, but now we've with the technology and everything, and the advancements of in investigative techniques and everything else, and the world is a much smaller place with the cameras and the phones and everything and the internet, that it's not that we have less of these people. We got more people on the planet than ever. How are you going to, the math doesn't math. You know what I'm saying? It's not the fact that we have less of them. We have more of them, but they're being caught before they can go on. Right. And that's just how it is. I mean, people talk about, and this is another thing that just drives me crazy. People talk about how we're in the end times, or people talk about how it's worse than it's ever been. You know, the world as a whole is the worst it's ever been. People are so evil. Nothing's changed, folks, since the dawn of freaking time. I'm telling you, humans are locusts. We've always been freaking locusts. And the evil acts that are being committed, the things that are going on throughout the world, have always went on. They're always going to go on. The deal is that this world, with the internet and everything else, technology, we have made so much smaller, right, that we hear about it more. We're more aware of it. Think about it. It wasn't that long ago, folks. 1970s, not in the 70s, you had this basically new invention called TV and networks, and that's how you got your news. Before that, it was newspapers and radio. And up until the internet came on, the only place you had to get information was the news. No matter what platform it was, it was the news. And you believed what the news told you. But word of things traveled slow. Okay, comparatively to what it is now. It's instantaneous, right? So with all those advancements, we've made the world smaller. We're more aware of these things that we were never aware of before. It's not.
Is it true, Tex, that it was mainly journalists of a bygone era that brought these serial killers, the news out there because the police kept it quiet. And it was these journalists that put things together and said, hey, there's a serial killer here. Or was it the cops? I mean, I truly don't know the answer to that question.
Okay, the term serial killer, the first, that's a new term relatively. Okay. And the first time we can see that in print, and it's not serial killers, it's serial murderers, is 1961. Okay. Now, Robert Ressler was one of the guys that created the behavioral department of the FBI. Okay. He's one of the original mine hunters. And he was at a conference in the UK, and he was listening to a guy, and this guy used the term serial murders, right? And it stood out to him so much because of, like, the old serial radio shows, that type thing. But he is the one. A lot of people credit him with coming up with the term. It's really not, but he did. He did come up with the term serial killers, which made it more snappy, right? As far as journalists, like I said, that's the only way we found out about any of this stuff really is journalists, right? Because that's what the news and this is not a new thing, folks. Back in the 17 and 1800s, there were these trash rags, basically. These papers that were put out. That's what they covered. They covered all the weird stuff, and but the serial killers back then were called. They pinned them with supernatural names, murder fiends, and stuff like that.
Right, they made them famous with these sensational headlines.
Right.
But what my point was, Tex. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but my point was because we really have very poor journalism anymore. Yeah. Pretty much, the journalists now just copy and paste what some other reporters said. Nobody is doing a lot of investigative reporting anymore.
Right.
And so, are there more of these serial killers or murderers going unnoticed because the press is just not touching it, and the police aren't giving the information, and they have no money anymore? They can't even keep up. I mean, from what I know about what's going on in the police departments all over the country is they've got files and files of murders that are unsolved, cold. They have no money to fund DNA studies. Yeah. They have no money to do anything to even connect these cases. So isn't there more going on now than ever? Like,
Well, there has to be. There's more people.
Yeah.
Right? It has to be. I mean, it's going to multiply. But going to your point, there's a case in Houston right now that over the last 3 years, there's been, as last I heard, 53 bodies found in the bayous around Houston. Okay. And it's escalated over the last 3 years. It started out with 2023, there was 9 bodies. Then it scaled up, and
nobody knows about this. Very few people do.
Well, they're trying to keep it hush hush, and don't get me wrong, they've had press conferences on this as late as a couple of weeks ago. Okay, and they city leaders and law enforcement leaders down there emphatically deny that there is no evidence of a serial killer. Okay. But they're not releasing the cause of death before these folks. Right. So how can, which tells me that, and I understand they don't want the public to panic. I get that. But you are also, I think you have to have a level of honesty with the public, because if there is somebody out there doing this kind of stuff, they need to be aware. And the citizens and the families, especially of these victims, And that's a lot of that's mainly who's speaking out now is the families of these victims, because they're saying, look, these people weren't somebody, they weren't somebody to just jump in the river and kill themselves. Okay, that type of thing. And so you're getting pressure from the families to law enforcement and city officials that just all they want is to make the city safer. They want lights installed. The same thing happened in Austin last year with all the bodies showing up in Lady Bird Lake. And what we found out then was this was happening all over the country. It had happened in, I think, 11 states, and there was clusters of bodies in every state. And one of the odd things were that these victims had been seen getting in a van with a group of people, men and women, when the last time they were seen. They had GHB in their system, and they didn't, some of these, a lot of these victims didn't even do drugs. They didn't drink, they were being called accidental drownings and there wouldn't be any water in the lungs. There was a lot of stuff that wasn't add up, and Austin city officials were saying the same thing. There's no evidence of a serial killer going on.
So many of these autopsies are never made public either, which
absolutely.
So not even any citizen journalist can go,
right.
Come on, there's something wrong here.
So there's a lot of that, like you said, because
it's kind of a non-cover-up cover-up. It's just
absolutely. I mean, if you were chief of police, would you want to admit, or even mayor or whatever, would you want to admit that, there's been 53 people killed in my city and we don't know a damn thing? I mean, you don't want that, and it is unbelievable how gullible they think we are, because they're out there saying this is not what's going on, but they're not releasing any details. If this is not what's going on, release the details.
Right.
Tell us why it's not going on, why you think it's not going on, not just that it's not happening. Okay. That dog won't hunt, right? So that is being, like you said, it's a non-cover-up cover-up, right? Yeah. But there is pressure in this, I know here, and I'm not here, but down in Houston, there is continued pressure by the families and friends of the victim.
Well, that's an extreme case too. That many people.
Yeah.
And then
you have.
Have you ever done got a handle? That's one thing I cannot get a handle on. How many people actually go missing that are truly missing, not runaways that come back? And I'm talking about really missing people.
Just vanish. Yeah.
I can't get a handle on it. Can you?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. And I don't think anybody, as far as the missing stuff goes, and we've talked about it, that you're not going to narrow it down to one thing that's responsible. Okay. I think it's a smorgasbord of things that are responsible for this. I do think that cryptids play a part in it. But I also think
cryptids, serial killers.
Yeah, absolutely. And just stupid people being unprepared.
Yeah.
Okay. And when I say stupid, there's a difference between stupid and ignorant. Ignorance, not knowing. Stupidity is refusing not to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's just when you're never going to pin it down to one thing, because not one thing is responsible for it. But it is phenomenal how many people, I mean, you're talking thousands of people that go missing every year. One of the worst things going on, you talk about the cover-ups and deniability and all, and denying and all that kind of stuff, is the highway of tears in Canada. And unfortunately, it is most of the victims are indigenous women.
Right. Yep.
And regardless of how you want to think, what side of the aisle you are on, I don't care. It's undeniable that minorities do not get the press for some reason that, minority cases they're starting to turn a corner, thank goodness. But back in the day, that's why we had so many victims that were, homeless, prostitutes, that, hitchhikers, because they went unnoticed, and then people of color too, because back in the day, before we got, pulled our head out of our butts, those, they didn't matter as much. I mean, that's just plain and simple. Look at the child killings in Atlanta,
Yeah, I remember that. That was what,
they were not getting the attention
14 years ago.
Yeah, they were not getting the attention, and it turned out to be.
But who is announcing these patterns? Nobody anymore.
Just like us.
Exactly. It's citizen reporters, because even the mainstream news is not really doing their job anymore.
No, they're really not. They're being told what to say. Well, and I don't think they always have been, to a certain extent, but I think it's more politically driven than anything else, and they're going to do, whatever they need to do to climb the ladder.
But some of these patterns have to be so obvious to law enforcement.
They are.
And they don't say a word,
And I get you don't want to blow your investigation. I understand that. You don't want to put all the evidence out there. Understand that wholeheartedly. But there is stuff.
But doesn't that do more harm than good, though, Tex?
No, because you don't want. A lot of times, what happens is if you put out there that we're looking for a serial killer, this is he's done this and this and this and this. You always get a percentage of false confessions. People calling in and I'm the killer or whatever, but they don't know. And that's why they keep some of those details to themselves, because they can check that, So if this person doesn't know how the victims were killed or where they were left or whatever, well, you're just trying to, claim fame, right?
Well, plus, if for purposes of conviction, if there's details only the killer knows, that's useful for convicting a case too.
Right. So I understand them not releasing certain details. I do.
But they don't release anything.
But don't deny that this is happening as a whole. These people, the victims' families and friends, are asking for you to make the streets safer. That's all they want. More lighting in certain places, that amp up patrols in certain areas. That's all they're asking. Why are you denying to do that? That doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah.
Explain that one. That's just like.
Well, why doesn't, I always wonder the white, I worked on a TV show development called If the Dead Could Talk. And the goal of the show, the main goal of the show was through the TV show, to fund the solving of crimes. In other words, the network would pay for the DNA stuff. The network would pay because they have no money. They have no budget. They have no money. It's if you really knew the truth, like I do, it's scary, like file cabinets of cold cases that they have. They know they could solve them if they have the funding. So my goal was to get them the money through the network and do these very hard-hitting, using high advanced DNA techniques to track down, because they are, like, companies like Othram are, they can find 3 50-year-old cells that are on somebody's clothing, and they can find the killer or the relatives of the killer and then narrow it down.
Like the Golden State Killer.
Yeah. And so they've done an amazing job. And so that was my goal. But I always wonder why the police departments don't say, okay, we have these 3 cases that we really feel we could solve if we had the money. And why doesn't the police, why aren't they allowed to do fundraising, private fundraising?
Yeah.
And they're not.
Yeah. That makes no sense to me. I mean, I don't know. I don't understand the pushback. Okay. I really do not.
Yeah. Because even if something's 20 years old, that person has probably left a trail of these bodies.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And, they only maybe even know about the one.
Yeah.
But they may have, taken 30, 40 people out. And loved ones want to know what happened. I mean, think of the hell the loved ones go through, not knowing, where their brother is or sister or daughter or son. You can't fathom that stuff.
No, you really can't.
I mean, was there one thing other than that kind of a fact that really shook you to your core while you were researching for your book, Tex?
I think one of the biggest things for me was the fact that, well, it goes back to information. Okay. And one of the biggest things for me was I wanted to make people aware but I wanted to make people aware, but I didn't want to necessarily scare them, but I want people aware of, you run into these individuals daily. Okay. And I want to get the red flags out there so people can protect themselves. And this goes with, and I'm not talking just about killers, I'm talking about narcissists, because narcissists can destroy somebody's life. Okay. They really can. And that's their goal. Their goal is to get what they want, use people for what they want. And another thing that we're passionate about is the cycle of violence. The abuse and everything like that. If you can give people information that when they can spot the red flags, okay, and let them know that they're not alone and that they have a place to go, even if it's us, and we can tell them or guide them in a way to get, certain entities involved that need to be involved. That's the big thing for us, really, is, and what I think one thing that just floored me more than anything was the amount of these a lot of people call them evil. I think that term gets thrown around way too much. Okay. Because when you run into true evil, it's a whole different level, right? But the amount of these kind of people that are in your everyday social media, because that's a whole new thing with me. So I don't do Facebook. I don't do social media. This is what I do. This is my social media right here, because I think that is one of the biggest. I think the internet as a whole is both the best and the worst invention we've ever had.
Agreed.
But just giving people the red flags to look for, and hopefully they can save themselves from either they're just in the relationship and they're in denial of what they're dealing with. They don't know how to deal with what they're dealing with, or they're just getting involved with somebody and they're like, something's off. What, and then you go, well, when they behave like this, you could be looking at this, and this is the red flag where it's going to, and it's not going to get better. That's one thing. It's never going to get better for these folks, right? If you're in an abusive relationship, it doesn't get better. It escalates. Okay. And I guess that was when I started finding out how readily that we deal with these type of people is what really floored me. And I'm like, oh, but, people need to know how to protect themselves. They really do. And then when I started getting into that, and I started, getting into the whole the psychological aspect of serial killers and all this kind of stuff, and then I start finding out about the non-cover-ups, and I love that term, by the way. I was floored as to why aren't we being told that this is happening and why aren't you making places safer if that's all we're asking? I don't get it. I don't understand holding back that much information from us. Key things to the case, yes, hold it back so you can, prosecute these and find them, but at least make it safe for folks,
So was there one thing though, Tex, that just really just shook you, or maybe not? Just
as far as what, one case or
one fact that hit you, one
like I said,
connection.
Well, like I said earlier, the one case that just really stuck with me and still ticks is Albert Fish, because he's one person I do consider to be truly evil.
Okay.
There are others out there. Now, and a lot of people are going to. This one's a little different because Ed Kemper was he's 6'9" and weighs 300 and almost 300 plus pounds. Huge. He was able to convince hitchhikers, college age girls hitchhikers, to get it in his car. Not only that, to the point to where he had one of them, he had convinced two of them to get in his car, had one of them out and killed her and threw her in the trunk. The other girl had locked herself in the car with his gun in the car, and he convinced her to unlock the car.
Unbelievable. Somebody had made a point. Why don't they teach, some type of course, mandatory, even in elementary school,
right,
on sociopathic liars, narcissism, and all of these, things that could help save kids from getting conned.
I don't see why they wouldn't.
There's nothing.
Yeah.
I don't remember getting ever, saying, not even, don't go with strangers. I never heard anything in school. That all came from parents.
I remember the whole, of course, our generation was a little different. I was watching a short video the other day, and there was this guy, and he was obviously I don't even know what generation we're at now. He was a young guy, and he says, so y'all say you drink, he was talking about us, and our generation. He goes, so y'all say you drank out of hoses. Were sinks not available? And this girl's response to this woman's response was like, okay, y'all going to tell him or I'm going to tell him, right? He's like, we are freaking invincible. Okay. We were not allowed to come in the house until it got dark. The street lights came on. It was time to go in the house. There was a reminder on the news at 10 o'clock that they had children.
Yeah, I remember that. I'm old enough to remember those announcements.
Yeah, it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
Do you know where your children are?
Nope. But
hell no. Most,
So we
kids?
weren't
What?
told.
and most parents didn't have a clue.
No,
They were-
no, they did not. And
Not in the summer.
but you talk about, these classes that we could get.
Well, you wonder how many people would that save if they
I think
actually
a
had a
lot.
course
A lot.
on this. It was a great idea that I'm not sure who brought it
Yeah.
up.
But the other thing is you talk about things that just really floor you and just really shock you to your core. It's the amount of times that family members or friends went to the authorities. And when I say authorities, I mean child protective services, teachers, law enforcement, the whole gambit, right? And said, look, there's something wrong here. This person is missing. There's something. And they got ignored. I mean, you're looking at, you want to look at an extreme case of it, look at Jeffrey Dahmer.
I was just about to bring that up.
He had a 15-year-old victim that he had been drugging and everything else and had got loose and was running down the road naked and tried to tell the cops. And even somebody else there tried to tell the cops that, I'm being raped or whatever. And then when Jeffrey showed up and said they were lovers back in that time, the cops didn't want to deal with any homosexual stuff at all. And they let Jeffrey take the guy back to his apartment.
Unbelievable.
Crazy.
I mean, but I don't want to think that it still happens to that extent, but it kids especially, folks, you got to believe your kids, now on the flip side of that, you are going to have, unfortunately, these kids that are taking advantage of this because why? Well, they're kind of the same mindset that you could have a little, psychopath on your hands, because they will take advantage of that. But I think you have to take it and, you take the good with the bad. It's like getting, people confessing to being a serial killer. Same thing. You got to take that chance, but you're going to have to at least investigate of what's going on, So, but that's one thing that just completely floored me was the amount of cases that just get brushed to the side.
Yeah.
Because people don't want to get, and people not getting involved. The worst case that I've ever seen, that I've ever heard about people just standing around and not my problem, right? And this took place several years ago. Was this gentleman, trigger warning here, folks. Okay. This gentleman had his 18-month-old child out in the middle of the street during the day. There was, I think, 20 people watching this happen, and nobody stepped in. By the ankles, swinging that kid's head into the curb like a golf club. Nobody did anything. How, as a human being, do you let that happen?
There's a lot of apathy with bystanders.
Yeah.
Nowadays.
They'd rather, and nowadays they'd rather
sometimes rightfully so, because in so many of these countries, including Canada, just announced if someone breaks into your house, you basically can't do anything. You just need to leave. Like, really? You're going to just, you can't defend yourself. You can't defend your kids. It's like, that sounds so simple. Oh yeah, just leave. So you get armed people that come into your home, and all you're supposed to do is leave and trust they're not going to hurt your family. It's the biggest pile of BS I've ever heard. This is happening in real time in England. They've disarmed people over there. They're trying to do it here. They've done it successfully in Canada now too. And now that comes out. Oh, you can't do anything.
Yeah.
Really? It's like, what do you think? It's insanity. You know, we're living in crazy times right now.
They're basically handing people over to criminals and going, do what you want, you know.
Yeah.
Well, you know, and how many things have we heard about? How many different states here have we heard about that are decriminalizing things and all this kind of stuff?
Oh, I know. Yeah.
They don't want to process it. And it's like, what?
We're living in crazy opposite times.
It's weird. I mean,
it's like, did I wake up in another dimension where
I know,
is
right?
bad is good?
You know, and I know I'm not.
It's okay
I don't
if you steal, but only $995 worth per day.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay.
I don't talk politics because you know,
this
but
isn't
I will say
politics. It's just
as far as
common
yeah,
sense.
common sense, right?
If you have a family and you have children, I don't care. I mean, you're nuts if you don't want your family safe.
Yeah,
you're just plain old nuts.
I guarantee you, somebody breaks in my door, you done broken the wrong door.
Yeah, exactly.
Guarantee you that. But I've heard these weird stories, and it's not some of them. You know, I like back in the '90s and stuff. There was I heard about a case that there's this guy that broke into this people's house and broke his leg when he went through the window or something like that, and sued them and won.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Remember that case? Yeah.
Yeah. Or the guy that was arrested and spent almost a year in prison that just helped people on a bus.
Yeah.
And the guy did end up dying, but the guy was attacking people.
Yeah.
And he was a decorated military guy. He just tried to help people, and he ends up going to jail.
Yeah.
It's like, see, those are bad things. Or
there's a case over, and if you look at, like, I want to say, is it Brazil? I think it's Brazil. And there was a case of a guy that killed upwards to 100 children. Okay. That's unfathomable. I don't what? But anyway, when they caught him, he got sentenced to the maximum. Okay. 25 years. 25 years. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
He should never see the light of day. You know, if you don't have the death penalty, that's fine. But the people that do that should never see the light of day. They do not belong in society. Right? But we hear about that kind of stuff all the time. You know, there was a case that took place in France and Austria and that area that this guy, when he got thrown in jail, he got thrown in jail because he killed his girlfriend's 18-year-old friend. Well, him and his girlfriend went and robbed her parents. If I got this right, robbed her parents, and then had picked up her friend, and then he took her. They stopped, robbed her, stopped. He took her out in the woods and beat her to death with basically a piece of rebarb, and broke almost every bone in her body, and then sexually assaulted her, and got thrown in prison for it. Many, many years in prison. I mean, you know, and they were trying to reform their prison system. And so under political, and when he got in prison, he started writing. Okay. And he was actually writing episodes for a children's show. Okay. He's written books. He was a bestseller. So under pressure of all these people that were in the media, entertainment, they let him out early. Okay. It was crazy. It's like 7-8 years. Wasn't long. They let him out. Well, he's back in prison now because he killed like 12 more people. through three or four countries, 2 of them being over here in the States.
Yeah, that's the other weird thing too. They're giving such light sentences that and there's no responsibility with these judges doing this, and these prosecutors just letting people out, going, oh, and then they get somebody else. It's like, yeah, it'd be nice if they were held responsible.
Well, what's crazy is it doesn't seem to be any sense to what what happens, because you hear about cases that somebody just did something horrific and they get off with almost just a slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
And then Oklahoma, they just released that well, he's an adult now, but he was 17 when he committed 2 rapes, and he walked because they were going to try him as an adult, and then they switched it, and because he was 17 now, no, we're going to try him as a juvenile. He just walked, and they're all up in arms. You got state representatives that are, totally confused about what happened and everything. So Oklahoma's going through a big turmoil right now. But you've got these cases that are almost completely opposite of what common sense says they should be.
Yeah.
You got these people that are doing these horrific things that just get a slap on the wrist. And then you've got these people that don't do hardly anything at all, and they're just getting raked over the coals.
Yeah, that's strange.
Yeah. Every system we have is broken. That's the problem.
So in your book, I want to get back to the book, Infamous Minds. What did you guys try to accomplish? What was different about what you wanted to accomplish in your book text?
It's education, awareness. That's what it is. Like I said, we don't go into the gory stuff. It's more if you want to get a.
So your goal was to educate people,
yes,
on how they were thinking, what they were doing to manipulate people.
How to spot red flags and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
That is our main goal. Education. We want to help people.
Gotcha. Prevent crime.
Yes.
Well, that's.
I hope it helps somebody. If it helps one person, it's all been worth it.
Absolutely.
When is the book out? Is it out yet?
Well, it was supposed to be out this last week, but if anybody's dealt with getting a book out, we got pushed back a month. So, yeah.
Where's it going to be available? Is it broadly?
Amazon. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Amazon.
Good. I'll put it on my list here because I was actually looking for it, but I definitely want to read it when it comes out. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you. This is like I said, this is just book 1. So we're planning on the second one. The second one may be a little different. The second one may be more about these cases that kind of we've been talking about, like the Houston and the Austin cases, and a lot of the why aren't we being told things, that type of thing.
Yeah. What's the plan? Is it just to cover up the fact they're not they don't have an answer, or is it more?
Yeah. And I also want to touch more on the missing type situations, that type of thing. Because there are different, more things at play than, I know people want to blame it on things like UFOs, Dogman, and Bigfoot. And I'm not saying those aren't responsible for a portion of it, but.
Well, let's talk about that for a minute.
Okay.
How much danger do you think people are in with, I know you've had a Dogman sighting.
Mm-hmm.
I guess when you have a sighting, they're real.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're real. And you must know that they're probably not nice.
I don't think they're our friends.
Okay. That's a good way to word it. They're not our friends. So do you think that they could be responsible, some of these rogue, because there's probably ones that aren't, they're just eating deer or whatever they're feeding on, and others that are maybe preying on weak people.
We're easy targets. Why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
I mean, the idea, the main concern of any predator out there or any animal, okay, in the wild, is to expend the least amount of calories to gain the most amount of calories. Plain and simple. Okay. And not to die. That is the main goal. Do not die. So we're easy, defenseless freaking targets. Why wouldn't they take advantage of that? But if they have a level of intelligence that we give them credit for, they would probably know that, well, we can't do it all the time. You know, but I do think they're responsible for a portion of it. I don't think they're responsible for a big portion of it. I've been bumping around with these critters pretty much all my life. I'm still here. There's been plenty of opportunities. I don't think they're like these evil critters waiting behind every tree to snatch us up and eat us. But I do think that if they get desperate enough, because I don't think we're the first thing on their menu for the most part. But, you know, if they get desperate and the opportunity is there, yeah, they'll snatch one of us up.
So are you saying that Bigfoots are safer to be around than Dogmen? Is that a safe assumption?
I don't know. I've been around both. I think the thing with Dogmen, though, I think they get more of their jollies out of scaring the hell out of you than anything.
How intelligent then? Okay, in order to do that, you'd have to be really, really intelligent, right, and have a sense of humor almost, which would make them really, really intelligent.
Well,
what are your thoughts?
How many times have you seen videos of cats hiding behind a wall to scare the other one?
Lots.
So, you know, but I do think these things have a level of intelligence about that. Okay, I really do. I get beat up for all this time.
Thanks for making my comment look ridiculous. That you have to be intelligent to have a sense of humor. I guess you're absolutely right. Cats, you know, they are smart though.
Well, I'm just,
you sure put me in my place quick.
Well, I wasn't trying to.
No, I'm just laughing about it. But that's true. Cats and dogs too. And
they play with each other.
They do play, and you know, I guess you don't have to be like a brain surgeon to play a prank on somebody.
Right.
You're right.
But I do think that they have the intelligence level that obviously is more than me because I can't speak very well. I compare them to killer whales, and I think I talked about this last time. I don't know if we got around to this point or not, because killer whales, and before people jump all over me, killer whales are very, very, very intelligent. They're a lot more intelligent than people give them credit for.
Yeah, and aren't they sinking boats lately?
Yes.
Which is really freaky.
And what's crazy is the juveniles doing it while the parents are sitting back watching.
No,
how creepy is that?
That's very creepy.
You know, but you got to understand, you're dealing with, when it's killer whales, you're dealing with an animal that grieves. There's documented cases of this same cow that's pushed two calves around for weeks after they had died. I don't know why they're dying, you know, but she's pushed them around mourning the loss of her babies. You know, they mate for life. They teach each other from different areas how to hunt in different spots. They strategically time attacks. I mean, it's just, they figured out, and this is a big one for me. You're talking about an animal that some people still refer to as a fish for some reason, but you're talking about an animal that figured out that if I grab a shark by the pectoral fin, flip it upside down, it goes into a catatonic state where I can leisurely eat its liver and let it go. I mean,
Amazing.
really?
Yeah.
And then teach that and other techniques to, pods that will come in from another area.
Yeah,
They're
the whales
really
are
unique too.
crazy.
It always blew my mind that they almost have like ethnic groups. Different pods have radically different behavior depending on what social group they're in. They have different diets, different hunting methods. They have, the same species they're more like humans in so many ways. It's crazy. And the more you learn about them, the crazier it gets. They're absolutely fascinating. I agree.
Oh yeah, they're absolutely amazing and creatures. I mean, I think they had different vocal cords and they had feet. We'd be having cousins on the land. I'm just saying.
It's unconscionable.
Has there been
captivity.
any credible cases, Tex, of people being killed by dogmen?
Mm-hmm.
I know I've read, and I don't know if they're true or not true, these crazy stories.
Yeah, I think there's been several. Of course, everybody knows about the LBL case that arguably did or did not happen.
And what's your opinion, Tex?
I think it happened, but maybe not to the extent that we hear. Okay. But I do think that it happened. But will we ever know the absolute truth? Probably not. There was the case of the young boy in Kentucky several years ago that was dragged off a few hundred yards, and what they said was that what killed him was an unknown canine. How the hell do you have an unknown canine?
Was there an actual autopsy and forensic conclusion?
Yeah, they said
is
it
that
was
a
unknown.
paper that can be produced by anybody?
You can probably find the report in out of Kentucky. I've seen.
I wonder if that would be a great case for like Eric Palacio to try to do a FOIA and actually get a hold of those papers.
And then you have, which to me this has been the most fascinating case, especially because it's so fresh, one, and that it's mind blowing that it didn't get more attention. We were talking about non-cover-up cover-ups all ago. Oh, man, this one fits the bill. So it was Lipan, Texas. And I think I told you about this one privately or something. But it's Lipan, Texas. And it was just a few years ago. And this man he took a shortcut through the woods every day to go to work. And he didn't show up to work and he didn't come home. So they reported him missing. They went looking for him. They found him. He was thrown over in the brush with his throat ripped out from the front with scratches on his chest. Okay. His throat wasn't cut. His neck wasn't broke from the back. His throat was ripped out from the front. Okay. So the small county and town did not have a medical examiner. So in that case, the justice of the peace assumes that role. Now, the justice of the peace shows up with a sheriff's deputy to the scene. Along with them shows up a game warden and their civilian tracker. Okay. Now, as soon as they show up on scene, the deputy and the justice of the peace this is a big cat attack. And we do have them in the area. Okay. What you have to remember, folks, this is in the Dogman Triangle. As Small Town Monsters puts it, this is in that area. It's only, as the crow flies, 40 so miles from where I had my encounter. It's less than 100 miles from where we're doing our private Dogman investigation. So yes, this is in that area. Now, but like I said, when they get on scene, the deputy and the justice of the peace automatically say, this is a big cat attack. The game warden and their tracker says, no, this was not a cat attack. This is not how cat's attack, and there's no sign of a cat anywhere in the neighborhood. We don't know what did this. That disagreement made it into the paper about the attack. You don't see that very often. So evidently there was a journalist either there at the scene or a journalist that knew one of the participants. Okay, I don't know how that came about, but I do know this. Right after this happened, right after it hit the paper, the body was cremated very, 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 very quick. And they leave the case open so you can't get any details about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, no cause of death. I mean, the cause of death was listed as a cat attack or animal attack, whatever. So, yeah, that's one of the most fascinating cases that I've read across.
And they're saying it was a dog, a canine that did this, not a.
No. They're saying it was a cat.
Oh, a cat. Okay,
yeah, a big cat that did this. But that's just the deputy and the justice of the peace that says that. The game warden and the tracker disagreed and says, no, this was not a cat. We don't know what this is.
Yeah, cats will grab people by the back.
Absolutely.
Not the front. That's just the way they hunt.
Yeah.
Where a dog, I know because my dog, which was a wolf dog hybrid, if somebody made him mad, he would grab them by the throat.
Mm-hmm.
And his name was Lobo. And I like my brother, he said, oh, shake. I said, I wouldn't ask him to shake, Johnny. Don't do it because you're not going to like what's going to happen. He said, oh, you'll be fine. He's like, shake. And my dog grabbed him by the throat and shook him, and I had to take him to emergency room.
Oh, shit.
It's like, I told you. I'll never forget that. But dogs often will get the throat.
Yes, absolutely.
Which is interesting that cats go for the back of the neck and dogs go for the front. Are you familiar with the Henry McCabe case?
Not from, I may know the case, but I don't know the name.
Well, you might want to study that, being interested in this Dogman stuff. It's a case where a guy was out. I'm trying to shorten this up. He was out. He was having some drinks with friends. His buddy dropped him off. As far as I know, he took a shortcut through a wooded area I would never go into after night alone. Not alone at night. No way. There's too many Bigfoot reports, and it's like it's bad. Like there's no way I'd go back there. And I've had a sighting back there that was me and Yvette did, broad daylight even. I mean, it's not the place you can be walking through at night. And he goes walking through there at night, and he calls and leaves a message on the answering machine, and all you hear is growling, screaming. Have you not heard this? Oh, it's all over. I mean, you can find it on the internet, all over YouTube, and it's a real deal. I mean, it was covered quite heavily by the news here, the local news.
What was the guy's name?
Henry McCabe. And of course, there's no answers as to what happened. You know, I've not seen the autopsy report being released, but you can hear him. You hear all this weird, like growling and weird sounds, and him screaming, and at one point he even yells, "Stop it!" You know, and who is he talking? Of course, you can interpret it any way you want,
right?
But you know, I'm certainly lean towards one way. And then I think they found him once again in a lake after a month of searching. I don't believe he had any water in his lungs. Of course, it was a drowning, but didn't have any water in his lungs, as I remember. I could be wrong on all of this, but it's an interesting case.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It's
It's real. I tell you that. It's definitely real.
Yeah, it is.
It's not made up. and he was a pretty well-to-do guy. He was an IRS agent. But that cut through, that short walk where he went through, I wouldn't do if someone paid me to do it, and because I know what's back there.
Right.
And they're back there in those areas because people are never in those areas at night. And that's why they're kind of there, and there's plenty of them there. So
yeah, and that's another thing that it doesn't look like they've
it just kind of got buried.
Yeah.
But if you listen to that call,
here we go again.
You can find it and play it. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, and here we go again. I mean, due to the advanced decomposition, the medical examiner couldn't conclusively determine the cause of death or manner of death.
The whole thing is just smacks of like something weird. And they never released the full. Here's what really bugged me and pissed me off. They never released the full call that he left in that recording. And they edited it quite a bit. And what's on there, what they gave us is horrid and spine chilling. I can only imagine what they held back.
Well, do you remember that football player? I believe it was a football player that went missing in that weird 911 call that he left?
No.
Okay. This guy was, I can't remember his name. I'm going to have to look it up, but you could probably find it just by looking for that information. But the case, this was very similar. He just disappeared, but it was either a 911 call or a voicemail that he had left, talking, saying, "Don't leave me alone," that type of thing or whatever. And the strange thing about it, these two cases are very reminiscent of the stuff we're hearing about, like in Houston and Austin. And
and they always find people floating in the water. That's the other weird thing. Dave
great way to get rid of
ladies. He had a case too where there were all these young men found floating in these creeks or rivers. It's just weird. But never has there been a case where a guy left a pocket dial, or he pocket dialed and left a message by accident on a recorder so you can hear what the hell the guy went through.
Right.
And it's almost even the cops described it as otherworldly.
Yeah. And see, and that was the same. It was the same thing with this other case I'm talking about. So I don't know. There's some strange stuff going on out there. We don't have an explanation for all of it.
Jeff, is there any way you can find that recording and play it?
I'm looking for it right now.
You can just find it. Just Henry McCabe, just 911. There's voicemail. Just do it on your phone, and then you can just hold it up to the mic. It'd be the quickest. It's loud.
I'm trying to find it here.
Oh, you can't find it?
No, I am, but there's a bunch of different.
They all play the recording. So,
I'm trying to find.
Try to find one where it shows a policeman standing in the thumbnail or the beginning. I know a ton of people have made these long videos now.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to sort.
And it's hard. I know. Yeah. And it was actually my son Blaine that brought it to the public's attention. This case went crazy. Nobody knew about it nationally, and Blaine is the one that kind of got everything blown up on this thing. Carl says, I'm listening from the kitchen making salsa for Doug and Jeff. And I'm nice. Like, bless your heart. That sounds so good.
That's awesome.
He's making us cactus salsa.
Oh
wow.
Nice.
He's leaving the thorns in.
Well, you gotta have something to chew on.
Yeah. Don't leave the thorns in. But yeah, I can only imagine all these things. Here, let me try, Jeff. You can't just play anything. What's the difference?
Well, I've got one here. I'm downloading it here. Hold on.
Oh, you are? Okay. I want to keep people waiting too long. It's worth listening to. But if you could imagine,
I found one here. I think this is a pretty good one.
All right,
ready?
Go ahead.
Henry McCabe. Now, Henry was from Minnesota. Now, his disappearance has potential clues hidden within an eerie voicemail. 31-year-old Henry McCabe went out to a nightclub in Spring Lake Park on the evening of September 7th, 2015. So that evening at 2:28 a.m., Henry's wife, Karen, who had been away visiting California at the time, she received a uncomfortable, unsettling, what the voicemail on her cell phone. So on this voicemail, it features 2 minutes of a strange. You cannot make out what he's saying or what's going on. There's moaning, there's groaning, there's screams, and there are growls. You hear on this voicemail like gurgling and really high-pitched screams of just terror. Towards the end of the voicemail, there is an abrupt moment of silence before you hear a voice which could be heard saying, "Stop it." Like, it's a different voice. The last person to have seen Henry was his friend, who he had been with at the club. And this friend claimed that he had dropped him off at a local gas station. That was the last time this friend had seen him. Police check the gas station video footage, and they don't see this friend dropping Henry off. But they also don't have any evidence that's pointing to the friend. So police and volunteers thoroughly search the area, but they can't find any sign of Henry. Investigators were able to find the location of the final call. Final call was determined to not be anywhere near where the friend claimed that he had dropped Henry off. The phone had been pinged miles opposite of the location that was mentioned. Authorities searched the area where the phone pinged, and not a shred of evidence was found. On November 4th, 2015, Henry's body was discovered floating in.
Does she ever play the recording?
Well, that's what I'm wondering here. Let me.
Find one that does.
I thought this was.
I would just go on your. What I would do, Jeff, go on your phone, and then you can just scroll through it till you hear the.
Yeah.
You see that? What do you call those? The oscillation bar, and then you'll know they're playing the recording, and just play that part of it.
Yeah, this is a misleading video. Sorry about that.
There's so many of them. That's fine. No, she gave a good background on it. She did a good job there, and so that's great. Now we're all waiting for the recording.
Okay, here I think I found one that is just. I think this one is just.
So what do you think, Tex?
All right, let's see if you can hear this.
That's not it, Jeff.
Yeah. Sorry.
That's not.
Yeah,
it.
It's hard without any prep to find.
No,
to find
that's
a
not
good
even
one here.
close. That's not it.
I'll keep digging.
It's all
here.
it's not like somebody was making fun of it and made up their own. Here, let me try. I will.
Yeah, it's just there's just so much garbage. I'm trying to search for it.
All you got to do is search for the actual recording.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Oh,
and there's just so much garbage.
Okay, so let me do this. I'm sorry. I see the junk I start, and then it doesn't pan out.
Yeah, that's what I'm finding here too.
Are you still with us, Tex? I think
your mic is off, Tex.
Your mic is off.
Tex, you're muted. Your mic is off.
Yeah, sorry, I had muted it when y'all
there
were
we go.
playing the video.
Okay.
I'm certain just like y'all are over here. So.
Yeah, every clip I find it's either editorializing it or
I found it.
Good.
Oh, cool.
I'm going to tell you right now, that is not the recording.
Yeah,
like I said,
people have
sound human.
That is not the recording. I know the recording. Trust me.
Yeah,
that is not it. That is some made up BS that somebody made up to sensationalize something. That is not it. And I'm just like, what in the is it? I'm kind of wondering because the actual growling is so otherworldly. Has this been erased? You know what I'm saying? The original. Pardon?
Wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, I can't believe that. I'm gonna have to.
I mean, look at the famous garbage, the dumpster footage of supposed Bigfoot from the casino up in Oklahoma. It hit the news and then it was gone.
Yeah,
and you can't find it anymore.
Yeah, no, it's from the internet. Yeah, all I can find is people talking about it.
Yeah, I'm looking. Yeah, I know. It's just maybe I found it here from a more reliable source. Yeah, this is the real one. Okay, I got the real one now. And then okay, hold on here. I gotta rewind it now.
The police are thinking.
Okay. Now it won't play.
The police are thinking, you know what? It's a grown man.
I can't get it.
And the police are thinking, you know what? It's a grown man.
That was some of it, but what I did play was the original. You hear that kind of gurgly growling.
Yeah.
It's really otherworldly.
Yeah.
Anyhow, okay, enough of that.
Yeah, I can't find anything that's not crap.
It's sad.
Yeah.
Well, and it's like, and absolutely what AP says here. You know, for all we know, this is part of the cover up. You know, making it, trying to scrub the internet. If you can't scrub the internet, put a bunch of false crap out there.
Yeah.
Where you can't tell the difference.
Yeah, there was definitely some false.
Lost in the noise.
Yeah, lost in the noise.
The FBI does that themselves. Who knows?
Mike goes, yeah, Google made it go away. Yeah. Yeah. So, kind of the last thing, for any skeptics that are listening, and we were talking a little bit about Dogman, Bigfoot. What would be the most powerful thing you could do as an elevator pitch to convince somebody Dogman's real? Text.
Dogman?
Yeah, Dogman.
I don't know.
Well, I know it's a tough question
because there's such a lack of physical evidence out there.
Yeah, right. But okay, but you're in an elevator with a guy, and he just says, "Hey, do you believe in Dogman?" You go, "Yeah, I've seen one."
Yeah.
How do you convince him that what happened to you and what you saw was real?
Well,
what do you tell him?
I guess like I've said in the past, if I was going to make something up, it would have been a Bigfoot, because I would have been so much easier to explain. It would have been more acceptable, and why, if this was fake, why would I stay silent for so many years? And what is it that I have to gain by making this public? Because I lost credibility in my professional life doing this. So why does it make sense for me to do this at all? Other than that, I mean, I don't know. There's no way I can I guess you're trapped kind of convincing people that you're not a liar is what it comes down to. And that's unfortunate. Not that these things are real, but you end up trying to convince people that you're not a liar. You're defending yourself more than the subject, which is sad. But
yeah, well, I mean, we're still kind of there, even defending yourself, even with Bigfoot, with mountains of physical evidence.
Right.
You
I mean, I've got, well, Doug, you've seen the fingerprints. Those are, I mean, that stuff's phenomenal as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
You're never going to convince me otherwise. And then when you slap them up against what they just found in France, and they match the freaking Neanderthal, what they're calling Neanderthal fingerprints that came off that cave painting from 48,000 years ago. I can't tell you what these things were. I didn't see what was making the prints, but whatever made the prints on my truck in 2023 made the same damn prints back 48,000 years ago on a cave wall in France.
Yeah. It's just a coincidence.
Yeah, that's all it is.
It was a bear.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's what I thought.
You choked me up. I started
Obviously.
coughing. All right, we got to wrap it up here.
Drop bear.
Jeff's got to get up early in the morning. He's already probably ready to kill me.
Oh, I'm good. We're good. But thanks everyone for following us this Sunday. I sure appreciate it.
Yeah, that was great. I don't know what to say, but yeah, we're very grateful. We appreciate it.
Our fans are the best.
Thank you, Tex, for kind of mixing the darkness of men with the darkness of the Dogman topic. I'm
really looking forward to your book. I'm keeping an eye out for it. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah,
definitely gonna buy it.
As soon as and I thought I had a definite date, and then they pushed.
We will plug it when it comes out. Jeff will, because Jeff's going to order it.
Yeah, I'm following. I mean, I said
I
said a notice. When it comes out, I'll know, and I'll definitely let Doug know.
Yep, and then Jeff's going to share it with me.
Yep,
because we're cheap. No.
Well, I think what I'm going to do as far as book 2, and then of course I'm in the middle of writing another book. And it's my experiences leading up to when we found the fingerprints.
Oh, okay.
So, but I don't know. I know somebody that is at a publishing company.
Somebody.
Who is that?
If you want to do it right, let me know.
Oh, I plan on it, brother. I plan on it.
Let me
You're
know.
gonna be the first one to go to.
Well, let's do our wisdom of the week. We got a double one tonight, and then just stay put though, everybody.
Hang tight. We'll be right back.
It's now time for Untold Radio AM Wisdom of the Week. Folks, quiet doesn't mean empty. Don't mistake quiet days for wasted ones. Growth isn't always loud. Sometimes peace is the sound of your life finally catching its breath. And remember this, good friends don't demand your time. They earn it through understanding. The older you get, the more you realize that true friendship isn't about constant contact. It's about constant caring. Good night. We hope to see you all next week. If you like the show tonight, please consider giving us a thumbs up, leaving a nice comment, and most of all, subscribing and hitting the bell so you will be notified when a new episode is dropping. Also, please share this episode. Now back to Doug and Jeff for our wrap.
Good wisdom as always.
And Tex. Well, thank you, Tex. And
thank you.
Every time I talk to you, it's just like
it's great.
My mind's always blown.
Well, thank you.
You're a brilliant man, and I'm glad that you're putting some of your brilliance down on paper.
Thank you.
That's
very humbling. Thank you.
It's another way to hit a whole section of people that would never listen to even a podcast. It really is. Yep. And someday, these books will be extremely important.
Yeah.
Far more important than they are even now, I think.
I'm looking forward to, I got a lot of I told you so's I'm going to hand out once once this comes, when all this stuff comes out of the shadows.
Do you have those in little certificates that you can hand out?
You know what? That's a great idea.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious. Somebody should make them and sell them. There's your business idea of the day. Yeah. Okay. Good night, everybody. Thank you again. We'll be here next Sunday. Same time.
Sunday. Yep.
Same
and thanks
place.
Again, everybody.
Yep. Good night.
Good night.
I call you up in the middle of the night. Been bothered by dreams, ain't feeling alright. You give me comfort, say just give it some time. By the end of our talk, I'm feeling just fine. You and I will always know where we belong. This ain't no